Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Podcast. This is really weird because I haven't done these in person in a while. You look so familiar.
I wouldn't know why.
Should we do a little backstory about how we know each other before we jump into this interview?
I'm in. Let's do it.
I've known this man my entire life, childhood, adult life. He's my cousin.
Yeah.
So I'm in
What, 2 blocks?
2 blocks, 2 doors down. Here without you. Oh, no.
Wrong. No.
But how do we know each other?
I am Alex. I'm the drummer in Wrath of the Fallen. We just met relatively recently.
Through him.
Through PJ. I've known PJ since what?
Middle school.
Yeah, at least middle school. Yeah, and we are 1 member short right now. But he will.
He is a member short.
We weren't going to talk about that.
Yeah, we agreed.
I paid you and everything.
No, you didn't.
Oh shit.
You gave me a Wendy's Frosty.
No, that was Tim.
That was courtesy of Tim
Tim the Tool Man.
the Tat.
So how'd you guys come up with the name of the band? Getting into a little bit of the history of the band, and how'd you guys come to form?
So we were under a really dumb name when I first joined the band. It was Wilted Rose. I hated that.
I think it's a pretty cool name.
I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And the band name was actually thought of by the member I replaced. So we couldn't use it anymore. I was like, cool, that works for me. So we were just hanging out and we were trying to come up with a bunch of different names. And we had a huge group chat back then and we were going through everything. And then I came up with Wrath of the Fallen, just literally just drunk, sitting on the couch, watching TV. And I was like, sent that to the guys. We had a vote on it and it's been our name since.
Damn. Yeah, Wilted Rose. I'm with him on this. It sounds like a Guns N' Roses cover band.
Yeah. Thinking about it now, it does kind of sound big.
Well, and the best part is the drummer at the time, the one before you, he was like a huge Guns N' Roses person too. So that's probably where it did come from.
But probably. Guns N' Roses ain't bad, but naming your band Wilted Rose, it could have been a nice rose. It didn't have to be wilted.
Well, have you seen me?
We like dead things around here.
I saw the documentaries you was watching upstairs.
Yeah.
You love dead things.
Oh yes.
Speaking of dead things, who is your favorite serial killer? Not saying that what they did was right or what. I'm saying who fascinates you the most.
Definitely Ted Bundy. When we watched the Netflix series about Ted Bundy with, I think it was, was that Zac Efron? I think.
Yeah,
played
Zac
him.
Efron.
It was really fascinating. Yeah, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that documentary.
It was good.
I just finished Dahmer. So.
Dahmer was that one was
the Netflix
cool.
special.
I've
already sold the tape.
When he tried to feed his neighbor in the apartment the
sandwich.
Oh man,
It's just pulled pork.
Yeah.
I think that's what
roast
his name
beef.
was.
I think it was roast beef. He tried to.
Hey, he said pulled pork.
Was it?
I just watched it like 2 days ago.
Did you watch the Dahmer tapes?
Yeah.
If you watch them and coincide with the Netflix documentary, you'll see how it's the same and how it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had to make a freaking show.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've always been fascinated by the Zodiac. He wasn't caught. He was never caught.
Yeah. I mean, out of all of them, the one that I like the best is not really talked about that much is Ed Gein.
Ed Gein, man, he only it's still too large of a number, but he killed 2 people. But they found body parts throughout his house.
Oh.
So they're like, where did these
body parts is an understatement. They found furniture.
Yeah, they found furniture made.
The furniture happened to be made from humans.
Oh my god.
Ed Gein is who they based Texas Chainsaw Massacre off of.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite horror series.
Yep. My favorite is actually, believe it or not, Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street.
There you go.
But Ed Gein only killed 2 women, and they're like, how'd these body parts get here? He was a grave robber.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go to the Lakewood grave sites.
Just dig them up.
He'd make sure he got them fresh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And what's wild about that whole story is the fact that Ed Gein got away with it for so long, and also he babysat kids.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, there was kids in the house with the furniture.
Yeah, and the parents just didn't know.
That's crazy.
And
Well, Ed Gein was mentally challenged. So, I mean, everybody just, simple Ed. I mean, he was great with the kids, but they had no idea what he was doing.
Right. So Ed Gein is like Leatherface.
Yes,
right?
pretty much, because
Junior or whatever they call him.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture later on my phone. It's the lampshade is actually made from like human skin.
Nice.
It's really neat looking.
That's
And they
It's
have
on
a
a
chair.
museum
That's
somewhere.
awesome.
They have a
They have a
chair.
They have a chair.
And then
Yeah.
he's got several masks of like
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
faces.
That's
Well, what-
morbid but wonderful.
What started it from a documentary I saw was his mom passed away.
She was the entire time during all the stuff that was going on. He never buried her. She was
Yeah.
still upstairs.
Yeah, she's still upstairs. The crazy thing about Ed Gein, though, everything, but like when his mom passed, that's when it really got crazy and it went off the rails. He started making flesh suits out of the women that he dug up and shit. Like it was
Not bad.
wild. You're like, not bad.
Not bad.
like,
You mind zipping me up?
Yeah.
like everybody talks about Jeffrey Dahmer. Everybody talks about, but not very many people talk about Ed Gein.
Who was
so I like it.
See, I have a fascination with clowns. Have you seen the Terrifier movies yet?
No,
With
I'm
Art
really,
the Clown?
I'm really weird with that kind of violence and
Really,
movies. Like,
it's very, very much so.
like I can't even do
very
Saw.
Oh, really? Well, it's just as gory.
Saw's not a clown though. I mean, it's a dummy.
No, I'm talking about. It's not clowns where I'm from, where I'm coming from. I meant the gore aspect.
Yeah.
of it.
Well, don't watch Terrifier.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Tim.
Welcome back, Tim.
Hello.
How was your poop?
What's up?
How was your poop?
It's a double flusher.
It was double flusher.
Mhm.
I only heard one. Pipes right there.
That's the magic behind the double flush.
I have it on camera. It was only one flush. We can play it back
We don't
later.
have to. It's a double.
Tim, we're talking about
Circle.
serial killers, horror movies, and Tim is the horror movie guru. We should call him. He
I
absolutely.
watch a lot of horror movies.
Who's your favorite band?
Wrath of the Fallen. Ice Nine Kills.
And there it is.
Ice Nine Kills for sure, man. Those guys are awesome.
So we was talking about some of the serial killer that fascinates us the most. Not ones that we look up to or anything crazy like that. but like,
I said Ted Bundy,
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein, which is Leatherface.
Yeah. Let's see. One.
Tim probably knew that.
Let's see. Probably Adolf Hitler.
Does that even count?
Yeah,
Is
He killed
genocide-
hundreds and hundreds of people, dude.
I mean, he
No,
is.
I'm just joking.
He did kill the most people,
yeah.
besides politicians.
Well, we're talking about
Well, other politicians.
Let's see. Probably
I say he still is a politician, kind of.
John Wayne Gacy.
The clown. That's what I was going to segue into. Was
That dude just has a particular fear that
Yeah.
just like strikes you like a killer clown. Is kind
Like a lot of horror movies were based around him
Mhm.
Yeah.
later
It.
on. Like It.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
that movie
think
scarred me as a child.
I don't think it's scary.
When you watch it at 5 years old, it's pretty damn scary.
Dude, I watched all those at 5 years old. I think the first movie I ever sat down and watched was 13 Ghosts.
Great.
That's a great
They,
movie.
they need to do a
They
prequel
really do.
about all the ghosts. Back
I
then.
agree. That would be a good Netflix series.
That would be awesome.
Each season's a different ghost.
Yeah.
Like that'd be.
Oh, I'd love to
Let's
watch the
pitch
Jackal.
it. Let's pitch it to Netflix.
Come on, Netflix.
We
You
just
just
need-
did.
We just need some generous donations. And,
Matthew Lillard still has to be there somehow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but he's got to be.
Matthew Lillard should have been in the new Scream movies, but he was absent, which is. Did you watch the new Scream?
I was going to ask that.
I haven't got
I
around
haven't
I have.
seen it yet.
No.
I have.
Is it good?
It is really good considering that it's in New York.
Right.
There is no Nev Campbell, so there's no Sidney Prescott. However, Sidney Prescott was mentioned.
Oh, really? A little bit of lore there.
Yeah, and also it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Still, it's not like Jason Takes Manhattan.
Right. That movie was nuts.
That movie was good and
It was
bad
pretty bad, but
because the reason why it was bad was like technical things.
Mm.
The whole movie takes place in New York, but it's shot in like England, I think.
right.
And the fight scene between that dude and Jason,
Yeah.
Remember that?
It was.
where he knocks his head off.
It was kind of
Oh,
cheesy. Yeah.
It was a very cheesy late 80s flick.
But that's. I mean, to
You mean
be
the one
fair,
with Jason Voorhees?
Yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan.
This dude, like, oh my god. Yeah, that was funny.
He knocks a dude's head off.
To be fair though, like 80s horror films, I feel like have kind of like that charm about them. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like-
yeah,
Like, Halloween, I guess, came out in the 70s, but like,
78.
yeah, something like that. Which that's
Oh,
my
that's great.
favorite. That's my favorite, absolute top horror series of all time.
Oh,
Except the third one, the Season of the Witch or whatever.
I love that one.
Really?
That was my favorite.
Oh, I can't. What was the song they sang? Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And well, I love that movie because honestly, when Halloween first came out, let's do a little backstory to Halloween. John Carpenter wanted each Halloween to be a different movie. That's why it's called Halloween, not Mike Myers. Well, he was pressured to do the sequel. So he did the sequel, then went back to his original idea. I think Season of the Witch should be redone by Rob Zombie.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
He did a good job with what's that called? Oh man, the Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Reject.
Oh,
That's a great
fuck
movie.
yeah.
It's a real good
Three
House
from-
of a Thousand Corpses.
Did you watch 3 from Hell?
Yep.
It was another good
I
one.
haven't seen that one.
What was that one, Lords of Salem, that you did?
That was a good one.
That one, mindfuck. I had to watch it like 3 times.
Really?
I just wish like more of these horror movies would have like jingles in them. They're just fun to scare people with. Like that's one of my favorite things to do is being a driver. I'll take these new guys out, and I do a lot of rural areas. So I'm out in these cornfields. I'll just be sitting there. They'll be half asleep. Jeepers, creepers. Just
or
freak them out.
1, 2, Freddy's
That's my
coming
favorite
for.
one.
There's a movie. I don't know if you guys seen it or not. It was actually done by WWE Studios. It was called See No Evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
With
seen it.
Kane.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them.
Great movie.
I haven't seen the second one. I've seen the first one.
Second one takes place in the hospital
Nice.
because he survived.
I love Cedar Evil.
Dude, Glenn Jacobs is the man.
He's also a politician.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of
Tennessee or
trouble
something.
right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I heard.
Big shocker. Wrestling guys in trouble. Did you see Vince lately? He looks like he's looking for pictures of Spider-Man. This dude has a pencil mustache now and shit.
Isn't
That
he in
wouldn't
trouble
shock
for something right now too?
He paid off a woman that was working for him.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
was like a
yes.
sexual.
A man in power pays off a woman.
Yeah.
I will say this though about WWE. This is completely off topic, I guess, but
Everything here is off
well,
topic.
that's well, then we're good.
Was there a
I
topic?
I've seen a bunch of. I used to when I was younger. I bought into WWE hardcore, and it's I forgot what I was going to say.
You guys got 2 microphones.
Yeah, I know,
on.
like-
I'm grabbing another one.
Press conference.
I was thinking the same thing.
I've seen like some documentaries and some behind the scenes stuff, and Vince is actually a really cool guy. Like he treated his superstars very respectfully and very like he's very much so like a father figure to them. Like when Kurt Angle got into all those painkillers and who else was it? There's a bunch of them that had issues, like when Edge got hurt. Like,
That one guy we can't mention because the whole family incident.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, like he seems like a really like considering he's a multi-billionaire at this point, seems like a pretty.
I heard he has crazy things about him though. Like you can't sneeze around him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
probably
Well,
true.
Yeah, you can't sneeze around Vince McMahon because that shows you are not in control of your own body and you're weak.
That's correct.
I mean, if you listen to like,
Is that like a character? Or is like
No, that's him.
that's just him.
was that it was what Chris Jericho, wasn't it, that went over to ECW and
Yeah.
like just completely said everything about how Vince McMahon is just
Oh,
crazy.
that was I think that was Chris Jericho. I know Stone Cold was in ECW for a while, but that was before WWE.
that was way back.
No,
in
wait,
the day.
Chris Jericho was in ECW before WWE too, so I'm not sure who did
No.
that.
Somebody went back, like they went to WWE. They came. I think it was Chris Jericho, right when before he did was it Fonzie?
Fozzy.
Fozzy.
Yeah.
Fozzy's great.
Fozzy is great.
I haven't listened to a lot of stuff. I need
Dude.
to.
It's pretty
The
good.
only one that I can think of that did something like that was CM Punk. He went to AEW and did that shit.
He spilled his guts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know CM Punk did.
And what do you guys think of that whole situation? Did you hear about what happened?
I don't follow wrestling.
Apparently-
I don't know anything about it.
This dude left WWE under bad terms. He just started running his mouth because he was like, Triple H wanted him to face him at a pay-per-view or whatever, and it was supposed to be CM Punk wins. Well, Triple H like, no, I'm going to win. You'll win next time. He's like, why the fuck do I have to wrestle you twice? Because Triple H wanted the main event at WrestleMania. That's why. So CM Punk wanted his release. So he got out of the company under bad terms. Well, now he's in AEW 8 years later, and he's starting shit with the president of the company, the vice president of the company, and now
Always something.
they don't know what to do with him. And people are saying he's a cancer to wrestling and shit. I'm like, you don't know the full story.
Right.
Like, it's fucking crazy. But anyway, let's get back to music.
Real
Yes.
quick, before we get back to music,
Yeah.
that is one fight I definitely want to see because I keep seeing everybody talk about, retired people wanting to fight Jake Paul.
Oh,
Super.
well,
I want to see Brock Lesnar do it.
or like Goldberg.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
Jesus. Oh, he would turn him inside out.
Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow, that's an old one.
Yeah, that's a real one. He still wrestles in pro wrestling.
Actually, that probably wouldn't happen with Jake Paul. Seeing his
He's old
lineup of
enough.
people he
Yeah,
invites,
when's
yeah,
he-
he's like, oh, Ken Shamrock, let's
He's-
go. He's like 80 years old now or something.
Yeah, he's supposed to be fighting Nate Diaz If I'm
Yeah, I heard that too.
See, with all these YouTubers getting in like UFC and shit, I want to see PewDiePie versus like Anderson Silva or something.
Markiplier versus Vanderlei Silva.
Yeah.
Actually, why not make it more realistic and make it like Markiplier versus PewDiePie, like
That
actual
would be
YouTubers?
exactly like celebrity deathmatch. Yeah.
Dude, we
I'm
should
down
have
for that.
That'd be
I just
awesome.
want to put on the record, Markiplier whooped the shit out of PewDiePie.
Oh,
I just
absolutely.
want to say, I mean, PewDiePie's
PewDiePie's
fast,
from
but Mark's got some muscle.
He's
PewDiePie's from Sweden. He's a pacifist,
Yeah.
naturally.
He probably won't even sign the contract, to be honest.
Can we say that, PJ? Are we allowed to say that?
What?
That Swedish people are all passive.
I don't care.
They're-
What are they going to do? Agree?
Yeah.
I think you
I've
need-
never seen Sweden disagree with anything.
two places you rarely ever see at war is Sweden and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, do you want to go to Canada?
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's cold.
So,
I would love to go to Canada.
so is Ohio right now. What the fuck is
Love
going?
cold weather.
That's too
Okay,
cold.
if you had to choose, would you live for the rest of your life in summer heat in Arizona, or would you live in the winter of Canada?
Winter of Canada.
Winter of Canada, I would say that.
I've been to Tucson twice in the summer.
I lived
and
in Phoenix.
It was
So,
that
so
dry
not-
heat. You wake up, it's 8 a.m. It's 109 degrees out already.
No.
Oh, 109. You're being
Oh,
conservative.
at 8 in the morning?
You're being conservative.
When you can go out and light your morning cigar off the asphalt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I did 9 months in Phoenix. That's what I'm going to say. I did 9 months in Phoenix.
What prison?
I was.
That's the only time I ever hear people say I did 9 months anywhere.
Well, if you live in Phoenix, you'd understand. It wasn't bad. Nothing against people of Phoenix. I loved Phoenix. You can get weed.
Oh,
at any
Tucson. Yeah,
store.
Tucson's great.
But it was 120 fuck outside when I was out there. But the dry heat is different than the Ohio heat.
It's not heavy.
Humidity
Not
is-
thick.
But you have to be careful though, because your sweat evaporates
Mhm.
immediately.
Yeah, especially in that type of heat.
Yeah, so you're getting
You're just
dehydrated.
steaming.
People are dying just from dehydration. We had a homeless guy. This is a fucking wild story. Homeless guy not far from us fell asleep on a bench and was there for 2 days. Cop showed up. He was melted.
Oh
To
my
He
god.
died and was melted to this
Jesus.
fucking bench. They had to remove the bench.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, I mean that between the smell and the just disease that would have leaked into that bench, you couldn't salvage that.
There's a homeless guy
Probably
out there.
repurposed it in New York.
There was a homeless guy out there. That,
Yeah.
there was a homeless guy out there that turned a bus stop into his home. He had a little couch on top of it.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I go like, damn, dude,
I
you
love
were
homeless people. They're so ingenuous.
Yeah,
Right?
I
yeah.
absolutely love it.
I'm tired of the ones down there by Perkins.
Oh yeah, the infamous.
Oh dude, I swear to God, I'm waiting
Oh,
for
and
it.
wheeling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm waiting for it. One of these times they're gonna like rage out at me because I'm dead serious. Every time I go by them. I get Taco Bell applications from Taco Bell on the street when I service them. So I get down there, I pick up the applications. Every time I go by and they're like, anything will help, I hand them an application. And
You're ruthless.
what's
they do a good job.
what's interesting is I give a lot of like homeless people, at least out west, credit because they have a little fucking community in some places. Like they actually have like a little town of homeless people
Yeah.
living in tents and shit.
They had that in Wheeling for a
That's
while, but they
under the
abused
bridge,
it.
yeah.
Well, they abused it and they got kicked out.
Oh, I haven't been down that way in a while.
Yeah, it was under 16th Street.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they kicked them out of that. It was right there by
See,
Ziggy
what's
Butler.
scary is that I hear that there's communities of homeless guys in the woods near Wheeling.
Yeah,
And like they would fucking take people.
that
Like the hills have eye type of
See,
stuff.
that's creepy. But the thing is with like
I
homeless
don't know if
people,
it's true.
if they have villages and stuff, would you still consider them homeless?
Right.
I mean,
No, I don't think so.
in reality, though,
They have their own home.
they have a hint.
They have a tent, yeah, but
Some people live in vans.
Squatters, right?
yeah, but home is.
Down by the river.
But in the words of from Joe Dirt, home is where you make it.
The way I look at it, though, I mean, they might be homeless because they don't have an address. But a lot of those people down there, at least in Wheeling, I don't know how it is out west. I haven't been out there yet. But in Wheeling, these guys make more money than I do sitting on that fucking corner.
True.
Why don't you do that?
I don't have looks for that.
He's got pride. Too much pride.
Oh,
I had it.
Yeah.
That's what when I was stationed in San Diego. I loved it over there because weed's recreationally legal, right? And so whenever they came up begging you for money, I think no shit half the time they would even ask for money. They're just like, hey, they have a 2 taco deal going on. Will you buy me a taco and you can have the other taco? Just because they're just stoned and wanting to have some munchies.
Right.
I was just like, yes, of course. And walk over, I need a taco, you have a taco.
What's sad is though, there's so many people out there that wrongfully judge certain homeless people because you don't know their situation. They could be on hard time. Any of us are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Absolutely.
Like it's
Or
fucking
one
terrifying.
wrong decision from
Fucking terrifying. One, like, let's say you're living with somebody and something happens to that person you're living with. If their name's on the lease or whatever, fuck,
Yep.
you're homeless.
Yep.
So, like, I don't really try to judge them, but I did have this one homeless guy. He had a sign that said, I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't know if he's homeless or not. He's like, I'm not going to bullshit you. I just want weed. So I went into the dispensary nearby and I bought a little, about $18 of weed. I'm like, split it with him. I'm like, here, you said, I mean, you're being honest with me.
Right.
And fuck. Because for a lot of people, it is medication. I'm not going to go into that topic right now, but
I mean,
for me in
it is.
particular.
no, I straight up agree. It's medication. It's just, I don't understand it. Like, I'm a commercial driver,
Mhm.
so I'm legally not allowed to,
Because
to take.
it's federal.
It's federal. And I mean, even if it was legal, I still couldn't take, which is it's fine. It's whatever. But why can people go home and drink a 12-pack
Exactly. Take a
and
Xanax.
still
take Xanax.
and still go drive? But yet, if I want to, take a couple puffs before bed, no, that's illegal.
You're done.
And it stays in your system for like 3 days
Right.
or longer, depending on your consumption.
Mhm.
And what is crazy is not to get into the whole political and all that shit, but I am an advocate. I'm not as much of an advocate as other people. Some people go to every single march, but I'll go as often as I can.
I've seen
Yeah.
your weed suit.
Yeah.
You were just recently did one I saw on,
Oh, the
on
state
the
building.
social. Yeah.
Yeah, that was there in Columbus, right?
Sensible Coalition. We are actually right now trying to make it legal in the state of Ohio recreationally and home grow. But another issue that we're trying to look at is people that do get in trouble at their jobs when they have a medical card for having it in their system to take THC off of drug tests.
Oh, really? I've actually heard that. My most recent employer, I'm not going to say who, but they actually had a program where, say, because we had to have what was it when you have to have ODOT physicals?
Yeah.
DOT
physicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't smoke, obviously, because we failed the physical.
Yeah.
But if you did happen to smoke, say, or like secondhand, however you partook, if you failed your drug test, instead of just firing you on the spot, they would send you to like some sort of treatment program.
Yeah.
Almost kind of, I would say like a rehab. But you would, if you complete the 30 days or however long, 2 weeks, you got to come back and keep your job, which I thought was.
Yeah,
But
my company's the same way, but you have to admit, you have to go to them.
Yeah,
admit
you
have
can't-
a problem.
Oh, okay. Well,
My issue is
Yeah,
though.
mine, you have to admit you have.
My issue is we're still viewing it as a fucking and everything's considered a drug, but we're viewing it as like, oh, you have a problem, you're on coke or you're on heroin. Bull. No, it's fucking weed.
yeah.
And see, the issue I have with it right now is it's not the weed itself. It's the fact that they keep it illegal, so people can't go to the proper dispensaries to get it. So they're buying it off the street, and these assholes are lacing it with fentanyl and shit.
Here's an issue I and a lot of other cannabis advocates have. A shout out to the Sensible Coalition movement. They're the ones that actually do all this shit. Actually, it's a Sensible Movement Coalition. They're the ones that actually do all this, and so does Normal. I just show up and march. What we don't like is corporate weed. Why can't we grow our own medicine? It is a natural plant. And also, corporate weed, in our opinion, is corporate greed because they kept it illegal for so long. Why are they the only ones allowed to dispense it?
Exactly. Now they're trying to take
Profit off of it.
Exactly.
See, I agree with that, but at the same time, I mean, even small companies, I'd like to see like mom and pop dispensaries.
Yeah. We have
Because,
one.
like me, if I was to get to the point where I was able to, I don't have time to sit there and grow it and maintain the plant.
Mhm.
But if I could go somewhere and pick it up, that would be safe, and I'm not going to worry about
And
fentanyl.
support local business.
There are local grows in Ohio, by the way.
Oh, really?
That dispensaries pick up from. Grow Ohio is a big one.
Oh, okay.
See, unfortunately, I mean, like I said, I don't know anything about it because
Yeah,
I
really,
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about either.
But like, it's hard to start a dispensary and very expensive, especially in medical
I'm sure.
states.
Yeah.
Because you have to get a license and all that. And then there's a
Right.
chance of the FBI and shit since it's still federally legal. But we might see this year it being declassified to a Schedule 3 substance instead of a Schedule 1 because they're looking at that right now, which means it will not be on a drug test.
Huh. Very interesting.
As far as I know, I could be wrong. Comment if I'm wrong.
I mean, it'll still probably end up showing up under like DOT laws and physicals.
I feel like it almost has to.
but if you have a medical card, there's not much they can do
I've always wondered how that.
at that point
So,
because it's considered a medicine.
but in the states that it is legal, like you can go get your card and you can go buy it. In all those states, it's still illegal on a DOT physical.
Yeah, but the reasoning why is because it is still a Schedule 1 substance at a federal level. If they deschedule it, it would not be considered medicine countrywide. So how would they be able to fire you if it's considered medication
They
at that
just figure
point?
out a way.
Yeah, I mean,
But
unfortunately, with
Yeah,
with
they figure out a
DOT
way.
regulations and the federal law and the way they dictate that stuff, they would probably still try to pass some sort of law.
My experience with the government, if they want something, they just do it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the band before we start to keep veering off, because I would like you guys to promote. You guys just recently released a song in January?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. That was Pressure.
Pressure.
I think you shared that this morning,
Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
shared it this morning.
Oh, thanks.
You can actually find these guys on Spotify. I will put the link and everything below. You guys have a website yet?
An actual website, no. We have Facebook, but
Okay.
none of us are like the best tech people in the world.
Yeah, if you know any graphic designers, man, send them our way.
Honestly, for a website, all you got to do is get on Wix. You just drag and drop
Oh, really?
links and shit, and then you just pay the money to bring it live.
Oh, right there, pay the money.
Yeah, I know. Musicians, if you're in the art field, I believe you have to have some form of a mental illness or some kind of psychological problem. Because even with podcasting, you spend more money than you make.
I mean, if we took that webcam around this room right now, there's at least $4,000, if not more, of equipment sitting in this room.
At least.
And I mean, that's just for us to practice and stuff. To go down and record, there's another $1,000 right there per song.
Yeah, I was gonna say per song. Yeah, we're like
And that's-
$3,000 some dollars in.
And it's not just financial. It's I mean, that's an all day. We leave here at 7 a.m. We don't get home till
Usually
11
1 or
at
2.
night.
No, we usually
Later than it's an all
say
day.
lately it hasn't been until like 1 or
It's an
2.
all day.
You have a full-time job that doesn't pay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we pay
But-
to go do it.
That is the goal.
I mean,
Spend money to make money.
See, I pay every month at least $50 to $100 just to keep this podcast going.
but let's say, like, I don't know if he's going to see this or not, but Nick Ingram, he runs his own studio up there in Columbus.
Mhm.
That's who we go to. He has his own stuff. Drum Daddy. I don't know. You know his other software?
No,
You got another
I know
one.
I know the drum daddy.
But
Drum
it's
Daddy?
called, yeah, Drum Daddy. It's awesome.
That's your OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
He made this drumming interface so that you can record your own songs without a drummer kind of thing.
Oh, that's
Or
pretty
if you
cool.
have a drummer, you can replace how the drum sounds.
Yeah, you can link up any kit you want. Like even Alex's snares actually sampled into his software.
That is fucking wild.
It is pretty cool.
It is awesome.
He
but,
can make like my bass beats sound like whatever. He can make them super deep and low end, or he can make them
Mongolian
more like
drums or some shit. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Mongolian music is fucking wild.
using him though and his audio software that he has developed over his time, it's expensive, but it is totally worth it.
Oh, it's
I mean,
it's a blast.
going up there and spending the day with Nick is like just a dream. You go up there, you have a couple drinks, we record our songs, we edit them with him a little bit. He does the main mastering when we're not there, and it's usually within a month or two we'll get our stuff back.
See, with anything though, if you have to make money, like you said, you have to spend money to make money, but you also have to have guts because it is hard to chase a dream.
to put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there and then
Absolutely.
take that risk of it just not working out and that money going down the drain. Unfortunately, happens to a lot of people. But you got to keep going.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean, thanks to Alex who started the software, or not the software, but he started through the website. We went through TuneCore and we put our songs up on there, and we have spent approximately we got 4 or 5 songs up now. Yeah, so we've spent $4,000 in recording. We've got a whopping $5.85 in our TuneCore account that we've made back.
Thanks, Spotify.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Actually, Spotify probably didn't pay you shit.
Spotify has,
I think
but
that's the only way we've made it.
the biggest amount of money that we've actually gotten is from iTunes.
I thought,
Oh, really?
I thought it was
iTunes.
Apple Music.
iTunes has the biggest payout.
iTunes, because anytime somebody buys a song through iTunes, we get it's 99 cents per song.
Mm.
Out of that 99 cents, we get 87 cents for it.
That's not bad.
So yeah, we get a chunk out of iTunes.
I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
I'm going to start
I-
sharing the crap out of our iTunes.
Yes.
yeah. That's what I've been doing.
Download our iTunes.
That's why I made that special link I sent you for the cards
Yeah.
to put our iTunes.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, I wish I
that's-
had that.
We have we have business
Yeah.
cards. We have business cards. I don't have my wallet on there. I show the audience, but there's a QR code on the back of them, and it links right to our Spotify, correct?
Spotify, iTunes,
And
and Apple Music's all on there.
for my job, I was all over the entire Western Pennsylvania region, which was from pretty much Erie to Morgantown, West Virginia, and I would hand them out to people just to kind of like, a shameless plug. But no, they're pretty cool, and it is nerve wracking to put yourself out there. And like, I'll be honest, like when we are in the studio, like I get behind that kid and he's running the click track through my headphones and everything. It's nerve wracking, but when it's all said and done, like,
Dude, at least you get headphones.
and I get to sit, which is also a perk of being a drummer. I'm the only position that gets to sit full time.
I can sit.
Everyone gets it.
It's nerve wracking, it's challenging, but at the same time, like when it's all said and done, like when we're hearing that rough track when he's done,
Yeah.
it's just like, just gets the blood flowing.
So for you guys, what is next? You guys working on? I know it's cost a lot of money, but you guys working on an EP, album, shows? Like what all you got going on?
Right now, the big focus is like we've got at least 3-4 songs right now in the works. We've got a couple shows lined up so far. Like May 20th, we are playing at Clientele Art Studio in Wheeling. It's down there on 15th Street. We're going to do Someday Summerfest. Big shout out to Someday Saturday. We're going to be playing that with them up there at High Tower Brewery. That's in Rayland.
Yeah, on the hill.
What was the date for that one?
Do you have a date for that one? I do not. I know it's in September.
Yeah, I do.
Well, he gets to pay for that one. And then the other one, I'm piecing together right now with a buddy of mine, Johnny Nolan. He's doing a lot of the stuff for McClure House down there in Wheeling. And we're set up to open up for I think it's either going to be Iron Flame or Brimstone Coven. Either which way, it's one of Andrew's bands. So
No, I don't know.
do believe we are going to be opening up for Iron Flame.
Great
Which
band.
is
Yeah.
which is going to
I
be
mean,
wild.
I think they just got back from Germany.
Yeah, Andrew, shout out to Andrew DeCogna. He's been to Germany. He's been like all through UK with
Yeah.
his bands. Like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna be
opening up for them
That's going to be a big
in
one for us.
Yeah.
July, I think.
Mhm.
I'll have to double check.
That's fucking awesome.
Mhm.
I do plan on seeing you guys on one of these dates. I was going to go to the May 20th, but there's an activism thing going on, so I just have to figure out which one I'm actually going to be able to go to.
Where's the activism thing?
Oh, fuck. I think it's in Columbus.
Well, we don't take stage till 8:00.
I'll figure it out
So if you get back in time,
Excuse me, that Wendy's messing me up.
because they're going door to door to try to get signatures for this fucking bill coming up. Which I get it. You have to have so many signatures for a bill or whatever. But if the senators and shit are for it, then just vote on it already.
Oh, no,
you said you're doing that up in Columbus.
I think it's
Maybe
Columbus. I think.
if it is, let us know. I'll see if I can talk to Nick because I mean he's got connections up there, and I know there's advocates all over. So,
People
I
you
mean,
never suspect.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't remember. Didn't he say like one of the members of Beartooth is like his neighbor?
Used to be.
Used to be.
Well, if they need
He moved to
interviewed,
LA.
if they need interviewed,
Yeah, your microphone doesn't do any good over here. You should know.
Well, I feel like it's still picking me.
How
It's
many
still-
times does Nick have to yell at you to get up here?
I mean that might be too loud. That might be too loud.
Well, it was a joke. When we were in the studio, I think it was for pressure, wasn't it? Tim he would sing, and you're going to hate me for this. I don't care. Tim would sing, and he sings with so much emphasis in the studio. It's hilarious to watch. But he'll sit there, and he'll start right where he's supposed to be, right here. And you're supposed to belt while you're in there. But he'll throw that arm up there, and there's a wall. So he throws that arm up there, and naturally, he's got no choice but back up. And then you got Nick in the freaking other side of the wall. You
Stop, do it
need
again.
to get up against the mic.
We love Nick. He's
Oh yeah, dude. How many times do you hear? All right, that sucked. Do it again.
Exactly. Yeah.
27.
At least he's honest.
At least.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he has to be honest. You know, in the field that he chose to do, you know, you have to kind of demand perfection, because if you're going to put someone's song out there with your name behind it, you're going to want it to be, you know, absolutely perfect.
Especially all the money that you're spending on it
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he won't let you slide by with anything sloppy.
Yeah. I mean, some of the takes I had to do while recording the drums was just like, you know, I'm over here dying. I'm playing as fast as I can, as hard as I can, and it's just like, okay, that was good, but do it again. And it's just, you know.
Could you imagine the old days when they couldn't touch things up? You had to be perfect every single time.
Exactly. Yeah.
The amount of tape we would go through.
Well, you know what's crazy? Thought there is one album I can think of off the top of my head that they did in 24 hours, one take, and that's Black Sabbath's debut album.
Oh, really?
Well, I
They did
mean,
one take.
That's crazy.
All the drugs they were on, but
Yeah.
and you got to think, Ozzy. I mean, anytime he talks, his singing sounds perfect.
yeah.
I don't know why he can't talk the way he sings.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What's weird is the older he gets, that you notice he speaks more clearly
Yeah.
because no drugs in his.
Exactly. It's like he's rehabbing.
It's not a choice.
Yeah.
Well,
The weird version of speech therapy.
I also heard this thing that he actually doesn't stutter as much if you talk to him in person, like face to face, and he knows you. It's more so of a shyness and stage fright kind of thing.
I could never see him having stage fright. I get it, but just you don't see it.
Well, you wake up 50 years later from a drug-induced coma you've been walking around in, and you're the biggest man in history.
Right.
Who the fuck are
He
you?
just like sobered up one day, and he's just like in his mansion, like,
Yeah.
what happened? Like,
Sure.
you're famous as shit.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
I remember falling asleep at the bus station. How the fuck did I get here?
His son's like 5 years older. He's like, "What's up, Dad?" He's like, "Holy fuck!"
Have you seen the TikTok where he's like, he comes out, he's standing by his bedroom door, and he's like, Sharon, someone has been in my room and taken one of my beers, and she's like, it was you, Ozzy, and he was like,
And then he
He
laughed.
just had to.
Did you watch that interview? It's kind of sad to watch now, but the interview he did with Barbara Walters.
When he was like,
No, that's a different interview.
oh,
This one, she's like, "Are you sober now?" And he's like, "Oh no."
that's
And she's like,
no.
our Prince of Darkness, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you took that
But
all right with it.
he is the definition, though, of never give up on your dreams.
Absolutely.
He was fired from the biggest band in history, and he could have moped around, which he did. Sharon's the one that got him out of that. But he could have moped around and said, "I'm never going to make it. They're huge, blah, blah, blah." But
Yeah.
instead, a woman came and saved him, but he was able to make it to be the biggest name ever.
I mean, at the same time, you got a lot of other artists that do that stuff too. Like, I'm not a big fan of Dave Mustaine,
Yeah.
but look at him. He got kicked out of Metallica.
Yeah, but the thing with Dave, that I feel bad for the guy because he just recently accepted the fact that Megadeth is a huge band.
Yeah.
For years, he was like, "We're failing because we're not as good as the last band." That I
We're
was
not
in."
as big as Metallica.
You
Yeah,
can't
but-
base your success off
No.
the previous.
Especially with Metallica. I mean, they're one of the biggest names in the metal genre.
And no offense to Metallica, but musically, Megadeth is more superior.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, I can, James Hetfield pick all day. I mean, it's just all downs, but
You want to know what's a hard way of playing, I've been told anyway, is the Ramones. Not because of the songs, because of the way they play them. It's all
Really?
downstroke.
Yeah.
that's Metallica. Metallica with James Hetfield, it's all downstroke.
Master of Puppets. That entire riff is all.
Yeah.
It's all down picking.
But
I mean,
But nothing against Kirk Hammett, but a lot of the solos, from what I've heard on the first album, he had to change because he couldn't play them,
yeah.
and they were
A lot, of
Dave
people,
Mustaine
a lot
songs.
of people will say that Kirk Hammett is. I mean, he's an outstanding guitarist, but a lot of people will put him in contention to be like one of the greatest of all time. See, I don't really either.
He wasn't even the best guitarist in Exodus.
Right. And
Honestly, one of my favorite guitarists, and like one I've always looked up to when I was growing up, was Sinister Gates.
oh,
He's good.
I
absolutely.
mean, he's a great guitarist.
Very
The
underrated.
fact that he can sing what he does is
Yeah.
remarkable.
I think it's remarkable with back to Dave Mustaine that he's able to do that and sing too, because he plays some of the craziest
Oh, he
solos.
plays some crazy.
He
riffs.
does, but he doesn't do the solos while he's singing.
No,
See, that's just it. If you watch a lot of like Sinister Gates, he'll sit there and do those crazy sweeps while going back
While
and
doing
vocals.
harmonies and stuff.
yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
fucking
not
wild.
It's just like I can't even do a sweep to begin with.
How about
Who would be like one of your favorites? Who would you say like is one of your guitarist inspirations?
yeah,
Oh man.
taking the interview from me?
Sorry.
All right,
you
back
can
to
be
you.
the drummer now, and I'll do the podcast.
Yeah,
Thanks for bringing the stuff, bud. We'll be done with it. Man, that's a good question. Yeah, Sinners Gates is definitely one.
Do you need time to think about it? Go
Yeah.
ahead. All right.
Yeah.
Alex, drummer.
This is gonna sound really weird, but probably Jimmy the Rev Sullivan.
I was thinking the
Rest
same
in
thing.
peace.
I thought you were gonna say Ringo Starr.
No. Did you see? Have you seen the meme where it's like where they ask? I think someone asked John Lennon if Ringo Starr was the best drummer in the world. He said he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
That reminds me of I think it was Family Guy that did that. Ringo, I wrote a song, and we'll put it right up here on the fridge.
Yeah.
All of Ringo's songs in the Beatles was weird. They were all the weird songs.
Yeah.
It goes without saying that what they did for the music industry is, crazy. But I'm not a huge Beatles fan.
I like the Beatles.
There's
but-
some songs that I'll listen to, but I mean,
Yeah, they're just like famous enough.
exactly.
See, I love the Beatles, especially the B-side stuff, but the Beatles, kind of like with Metallica, kind of like with even Elvis Presley. I'm going to get crucified for this. These people get the main credit, but there was bands around that time that was doing the same thing before them,
Yeah.
and they just got all the fame for it. Like with Elvis Presley. He's not the king of rock and roll. Chuck Berry is.
Chuck Berry.
He was doing that shit while playing insane solos, duck walking, and singing at the same time.
Yeah.
So back on, not to interrupt them there, but
You're
back
good.
on the guitars. I think.
you got an answer.
You finally figured it out?
Well, if we're going based on the very first time, like I wanted to pick up a guitar and play, it's gonna be crazy, but it's like Sebastian Esteban.
Okay.
It's just some Mexican.
Yeah.
Um,
Like classical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, I listened to him playing the radio one day, and I was like, I want to do that. So that's how I started. I wanted to play what's that, mariachi style music. That's what I wanted to do. I grew my fingernails out so I could learn how to all that crap.
I can't do
Slaps
that.
and everything.
And then out of nowhere, Cradle of Filth came into my life.
That is a weird change.
Yeah,
right, dude.
180.
And I was raised in a very strict Christian household. Like I went to Catholic school and everything.
Did you have that famous shirt?
No, I wasn't allowed to have the clothes. My mom didn't even know I listened to them. Like it was like taboo in my household.
Listening to Cradle of Filth back then was like
Yeah.
smoking dope in the 60s.
Dude, it was like, oh my god, the most satanic thing the world has ever heard at the time.
Right.
It's just like the very first openly like satanic. Like, and I'm not a Satanist or anything, but
I think they were the first commercialized satanic band, of course.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah. If you sit there and try to think, just off the top of your head, someone's just like, oh, name like a really famous Satanist band. Cradle of Filth's going to be in that top 5 for sure.
Right.
Or any black metal band.
Black metal, doom metal.
Not to steal your show, but while we're on the topic here, what was the first song you've ever learned how to play on guitar?
Can't be Smoke on the Water.
No, it wasn't. No.
Mariachi music.
Mine was a weird one, and thanks to a buddy of mine, Seb, to get me into guitar. But the first song he kind of started to show me, and I ran with, was it's a weird song for a first song for guitar. Beast and the Harlot by Avenged Sevenfold.
Not bad.
First, damn.
City of Evil. Great album.
Well, I learned a lot about Christian songs first off. Because like I said, I was raised in a Christian. So like once I got a guitar, it was like
Jesus.
Like
Jesus.
What else? I mean, like Christian bands, so like
Skillet?
Skillet, Creed,
You know what kills me for a Christian band and no one thinks about?
Devil Wears Prada.
The Killers.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The Killers is a Christian band.
Mr. Brightside actually about what, God, I
It
think?
is really.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he's been coming out of his cage. He's been feeling just fine.
We should cover that.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Gotta
down.
get down because I want it all.
Yeah.
Just making it a little heavy.
That would be fucking awesome. So, what's the chances of Wrath of the Fallen releasing a mariachi metal song?
Listen,
Slim
when,
to none.
listen,
Slim
if
left
these-
count.
If these guys came up to me and was like, "Let's make a mariachi metal song," I would probably come with my pants. I mean, let's do that right now.
Incorporate that style into actual electric
Right.
guitar and shit.
Yeah, I actually listen to. You guys probably know who they are. They're Hispanic, I believe, but the band name is El Nino.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I've listened to
They're
them. Yeah. New
amazing.
metal band.
Yeah, they're
they're good.
amazing.
Fucking
Amazing.
incredible.
But we could do. I don't know how much of their music is like rooted in Hispanic
Culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're pretty amazing.
There's a band that I was listening to the other day. I forget the name of them, but they are reggae metal.
Reggae metal.
Nice.
And it's pretty fucking good. Their singer's Jamaican.
Oh, nice.
So it's like the really like heavy metal riffs, but like Bob Marley type fucking
Oh,
lyrics.
Yeah,
Like-
I
there's a
love
Mexican band that's like that. They call it Apollo 7, and they did a Bob Marley cover of "What Is Love."
You showed us.
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys
Okay.
are so freaking
Yeah, it was good. It was
good. But what makes me so upset is I found them and I was just like, oh my god, I can't wait to hear the rest of their shit. It's all in Spanish. They learned how to sing Bob Marley for English, and that's it. If you look them up anywhere else,
The
it's
rest of their
all
stuff's-
Mexican
It's not to
stuff.
translate it then. I mean, it ain't that bad.
Dude, I listen to foreign music all the time, like Rammstein, and
Rammstein,
Baby metal,
baby metal.
I love baby metal. I don't care what anybody says.
Kung Fu is like one of my favorite songs.
Did you see what Rob Zombie said in the comment section one time?
Uh-uh.
Somebody's like, baby metal, you got to be kidding me, and was like talking shit on him, and Rob's like, you're just upset they rock harder than you.
Yeah.
They go hard.
They do.
They do. They performed with Rob Halford recently.
But yeah, I mean, I listen to just about anything. So I mean, the one thing that'll probably shock everybody, I would listen to opera.
I love opera.
Opera, that takes
It takes extreme skill.
talent, yeah.
Do you ever listen to Vetus?
No.
He's the guy that was he became a meme, but he had that song Seventh Element.
Oh,
Oh, that song. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an opera singer in I think Russia.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, he's real good.
Uh,
I want to go.
So what actually got me onto that was a video game called Metal Gear Solid.
Very good.
Yeah.
The opening song that they played during the first game was just like is what got me hooked, and then I was sort of like following some Japanese culture stuff. I was
Yeah.
listening to music. It's like I really liked it, so I started following it from there. And the way that they incorporate the music abilities with the voice to take over a lot of the instrument roles is it's inspiring.
Yeah. I have it's considered opera, but it's also considered metal. I have a couple albums for you to check out. I forget the name of the albums offhand, but it's by Christopher Lee. The
Like
original
Christopher Lee? Yeah.
Dracula.
And Saruman the Wise.
When he turned his late 80s, early 90s, he released 3 metal albums.
I actually just saw that yesterday.
And he's also knighted, I believe.
Yeah.
he is, sir.
That's-
He's
that's-
And it's an opera metal album.
Yeah,
That's-
I literally
I've
just
seen-
saw that
yeah,
on TikTok.
I've heard that
yesterday.
as well.
I want to watch. Yeah, I want to see those albums.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. If you guys can see my tattoo, but
Now that you're back, I have a couple albums for you to check out by the Christopher Lee. Yes,
sir, not the
Sir the Christopher Lee. Sir Christopher Lee released 3 metal opera albums when he was in his 90s.
You know, I saw that on TikTok. I think the other day.
That's what he just
That's what
said.
he said.
I think I saw on TikTok the other day, and yeah, that
he's
sounds
a badass.
that
Oh,
sounds
I was
amazing.
listening to it the other day while driving, and I pull up to the red light, and this guy's playing like rap or whatever he's playing, and I turn it up, and all you hear is like this metal riffs, and then like his like godly
Mace
deep
Windu,
voice.
not Mace Windu. What's it?
Dooku.
Dooku.
Yeah.
Mace Windu was
And
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, and he's also Saruman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saruman on the
Did you know that Samuel Jackson back on Mace Windu when he was on Star Wars, he had one stipulation.
The purple lightsaber.
Not just the purple lightsaber. He had to be able to take it home with him, and it had motherfucker written on the back of it.
That's amazing.
I need to see that. I need to see where it says motherfucker.
Mark Hamill, not Mark Hamill. George Lucas was like, you can have it, but it has to be where your hand's sitting, so you
Right.
can't see it on
Yes,
camera.
Right.
That's
I
what's
want to
awesome.
see that.
Back on surprising people making an album. One that I found that was actually a great idea, but didn't hit the mark, is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, or maybe it's Zach Bagans, whatever.
Yeah.
But the lead guy in Ghost Adventures, he made his own metal dubstep album, and in each of the songs, he puts in the EVPs of ghosts and demons that he's caught.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, so I was like, that would be really fucking cool to hear an actual ghost voice
Yeah.
on a. But the songs just.
I mean,
He's not a
Breakdown
musician.
dubstep You lose me at dubstep.
Well, it's kind of like
It's fucking noise.
Yeah.
It's not music. It is fucking noise.
Yeah, but all forms of music.
But yeah, definitely check it out.
form of
Though.
noise. Like, ever
Definitely
listen to
check it out.
Tuvan throat music?
Oh yeah.
Is that like the
That real
the
deep,
Who?
yeah.
What's that band?
The Who.
Yeah.
Not that The Who, but The Who.
Right?
The
The
Mongol.
H.
They're like Mongolian, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mongolian throat music. That's what
It's
it
the
is.
guy played. Yeah, dude. They did a song with Jacoby Shaddix.
Yeah.
And it was something
What?
about the dragon. Yeah, something about the dragon, I believe.
I didn't know that.
It's really good.
That one dude that's all over TikTok. I cannot think of his name. That does he does the Disney covers now, but where he's got that real deep voice.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Parrish.
Yeah, I would
I don't
love.
know his first name. It's something Parrish.
Yeah, he does the Viking stuff too. I mean, he's
That's how.
he's a really good vocalist. I'd love to see him do some originals.
Back on famous or celebrities or whatever that went into music. Ever listen to Steve Burns and the Dust Mites?
No.
Do you know who Steve Burns is?
Not a clue.
Sounds familiar.
We are looking for Blues Clues. We wonder where they are.
That's Steve.
The original Steve from Blues
Really?
Clues has a rock band called Steve Burns and the Dust Mites.
So wait, I've seen this as I thought it was a meme. I think I saw on Facebook. I saw it. Are those tattoos that they show when he took his shirt off? Is that real or?
I have no idea.
I'm curious.
However-
It has to be.
However, if you want to hear Steve Burns' music, ever watch Young Sheldon?
Yeah.
The theme song was
Oh,
done by
that's-
him.
Oh, okay.
I am a mighty
I
little
love that.
man.
That's so catchy.
That's Steve Burns.
That's
Blows
awesome.
my mind.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love you.
Of Blues Clues. I love anything Big Bang Theory, but I have not had a chance to watch all of Young Sheldon. I just watched
I
bits and pieces.
haven't got a chance to watch it all either.
I
I do like
all
Big
of Big
Bang
Bang
Theory.
Theory.
Same.
Do you guys like How I Met Your Mother?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't
watched
seen
it
it
in
in
its
its
entirety.
entirety. I haven't seen it.
Like, I'm the worst person when it comes to watching TV or movies. These guys can vouch for it. I don't
No, he
watch
doesn't
anything.
watch shit. Yeah.
He's a gamer.
You know-
guitarist. I mean,
I don't think he gets enough credit for it, but Neil Patrick Harris is such an amazing actor.
He
He's
is.
also a great Broadway. He has convinced an entire generation that he's straight when he's not.
exactly.
Not to mention, he's a fantastic
Singer.
magician.
Oh, I didn't know he did magic.
Yes, and he has his own magic kit out, and he makes his own cards, like a deck of cards.
I have a soft spot for magicians, man.
Dude, it's like $50 or more for that deck of cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Chris Angel ain't even that much.
nice. But yeah, he does a lot of cool magician shit. You guys gotta check that out.
Who's your favorite magician? Since you said you like magicians.
When I was young, my dad and my father introduced me to David Blaine. So I loved David Blaine for the longest time. But then I got into Chris Angel, and Chris Angel had that heavy metal
The
goth,
shit.
like
The aesthetic.
He has a band too.
yeah, I know. And I think didn't Ozzy sang for his like opening theme song or something?
No, that was
Or-
Chris Angel singing that.
was that Chris Angel? What am I
Yeah.
thinking? I'm thinking of Dog Bounty.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Not a musician
Yeah,
by any
no,
means, but I do love me
I
some
love
Dog Bounty.
I love talking.
It's
So I-
songs and some deep.
Yeah, I know.
deep.
We will talk about that. But I loved Chris Angel. I got into this show. I can't remember what channel it was on. I found it recently, but it's Penn and Teller,
Oh, they're good.
and they do a show called Fool Us,
Full us.
where they'll bring on a magician and he'll do his thing, and they'll be like, "Well, can we explain how you did that, or did you fool us?" And if they fool, they win.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, I think
it's-
I've seen
It's
that,
very
yeah.
good. It's very good.
I think
I
it's
love
good to
magic.
watch.
It's. Can we talk about like what is the magician's code? Like, is it like when you decide to become a magician? Is it like a blood oath or something? Where because the magician never tells his secrets.
But who's the president of all
Exactly. Like
Neil Patrick Harris.
Well,
That's
so
gotta be.
Houdini's corpse?
yeah. What, like
I've seen that they've got
That was
like,
his biggest trick, he's
actual
not dead.
like community. It's a huge thing. Like
Yeah.
they're all tied into it. So I don't know about I see a lot of these YouTube guys now that are doing it,
that's
and they show their tricks. So it makes me wonder if there's a difference between the new generation coming in
Yeah.
versus the old generation. 'Cause the old generation, you don't see shit.
You know what's wild?
But these new guys are explaining
Yeah.
how they did it. It's like, well, it kind of ruins it. For
yeah.
me.
Well, you know what's wild though? Talking about organizations. This is completely off topic, but it's an organization.
Shock.
My dad was approached recently by a woman, and she said, "Do you want to become part of the Santa Claus Coalition?" Apparently, in order to be a Santa Claus in malls and shit, you have to be part of this organization
I think I've heard of
that
I-
pays
I've heard
you
it too.
to go places. I'm like, Dad, you're approached by a fucking elf.
this.
I can
I've
just
heard
see
of
your
it.
dad sitting there going,
You have to have your beard a certain length. It has to be kempt.
Imagine
Right.
having to be that guy.
Right.
Like, go find me a Santa Claus. And you
Yeah.
just like walk around. It's like, I have the authority
She saw-
to make you a
She saw him play Santa Claus in a high school. Like they're following Santa Clauses all across the nation.
My question is like, what's
That's
their
almost-
first question when they walk up to them? Are you a registered sex offender?
How many times? See, now I
gotta
used to
be
have
it.
a bigger beard at one point.
Well, you don't have to have a beard, but if you do, it has to be kept kempt in a certain length
Yeah.
because they
That's great.
supply.
I wonder if I've ever been secretly interviewed to be Santa Claus. You know, like someone walked by, like, oh, you know what? Once that dude gets older, he's gonna be a good Santa.
But isn't that
You know
terrifying?
what I'm saying?
Isn't that terrifying though? Like you're like, I'm gonna be Santa Claus for this like unknown get together with kids, and then you get approached by a woman that's like, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
They see
I mean,
you when you're
Exactly.
sleeping.
Exactly.
That's a great horror movie idea.
Oh
It
my
would be.
God. That
Well,
was
they're
nuts.
doing the what is it? The Grinch is a horror movie now.
It is now. It's played by the guy who plays the what's his name, the killer and Terrifier.
Art the Clown.
Art the Clown,
I don't
same
know-
actor.
I don't know the actor's name, but
It's the same actor.
is it?
Yeah, and Grinch don't talk.
Speaking about horror movie guys and the actors and whatever, I didn't know that the guy that played It is related to the guy that played Tarzan.
Yeah,
And,
Skarsgård.
and their brother, they have a third brother who is Floki on Vikings. All three of them are brothers.
Isn't it? It's Skarsgård or something.
Yeah,
Skies, whatever.
Skarsgård.
Yeah,
Skarsgård,
the
something
It
like
that.
brother, the guy that played the live action Tarzan, and the guy that plays Floki the Viking on Vikings.
Not bad.
All three of them are brothers. I didn't know that.
That's
A long time.
fucking wild. Speaking of horror movies that was released that shouldn't be, I saw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey a few
Oh
months
my
ago.
God.
Is that good? I
How
want to
was
see
it?
that.
It was fucking great. I thought it was great. I thought it was fucking great.
I can't believe that was real.
It's-
I thought that was a spoof.
It
like,
is-
trailer.
Yeah.
I
It
did
is-
too at first, and I saw it in theaters. I was like, I want to watch that, but I don't have the money.
It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Wrong Turn meets Winnie the Pooh,
That's bizarre.
and it is very violent.
That's actually
I have
bizarre.
got to see this.
Very violent. Like there's a scene. It's not a spoiler or anything, but he's whipping Christopher Robin with Tigger's tail.
What?
That's as bad as like when Family Guy did it, and
Tigger
Winnie the
died.
Pooh was stuck, and he was like, maybe Rabbit, you can shove with your shoulder instead of your fist.
Well, what is wild to me though is this same guy is rumored to be releasing, the Brothers Grimm original fairy tales that
Yes.
Disney stole from. They want to release, or at least some company wants to release the original stories
Oh,
theatrically
Oh wow.
because they're very
Yeah,
horrifying.
they were. Yeah, they were a lot worse.
A lot worse. Like Sleeping Beauty was necrophilia. It wasn't.
Really?
She wasn't asleep. She was dead.
Doing the damage.
She was dead.
That's what
That was a damn good apple.
I got the books like that thick, and it has all the folklores and stories ever. It has all the Grimm, the Brothers Grimm, and it's got like forever.
So wait,
Can you give me the title of that? Because I want it.
Yeah, I can go grab it. Yeah, but it's got all of China's folklore. It's got all of Sweden's folklore,
So,
America.
does
all-
it have Humpty Dumpty in it?
Yes.
Okay. So does anybody here know, besides Tim, he probably knows, the true story behind Humpty Dumpty?
I feel
From
like
my
I've seen it recently.
from my understanding, Humpty Dumpty was actually based on a leader
No.
who fell from power, and they ripped him to shreds using horses. Was what I heard.
Negative. Humpty Dumpty was a cannon.
Oh, okay.
Humpty Dumpty was a cannon that they used to defend the wall, or I think it might have been, was it a church or was it a wall?
I think it was a church.
I think it was a church too. But they destroyed the church, and the cannon fell, and that's when they're saying like all the king's men and all the king's horses couldn't bring Humpty back up.
Oh,
It was
the
too
story.
fucking heavy.
The story I heard was about a leader that fell from power, and the horses ripped him to shreds, so they couldn't put him back together again.
That sounds like some Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But the thing with all these stories, there's multiple versions
Right,
of people here.
interpretations.
Yeah, so who knows?
All right, here's a question. What's your favorite folklore thing? Like mine is the Ireland's Banshee. That scares the shit out of me. It's like a siren song kind of, but
Are you
sing to
talking
you and
folklore or
stuff. Yeah,
cryptids
folklore
or
and
both?
stuff, cryptids,
Like-
all of it.
Just urban legend type
Yeah,
shit.
I mean Bigfoot's always my number one, but yeah,
That's just my dad.
I could see that.
So naturally, I mean, we live in Appalachia,
Mhm.
and so growing up and even now, Bigfoot has always been like a huge part of our history and our culture. I would say
Yeah.
so many sightings and things to believe that there's something out there that is just this massive deity or entity or whatever you want to call
The
it.
issue I have with that though is like I've been driving truck now for 10 years at night. through the hills of West Virginia and Ohio and PA.
Hmm.
And I ain't seen a goddamn thing.
True.
Yeah, but it's in the woods.
Yeah, he's not gonna walk across
He's
the
not gonna-
street.
He's
And
not-
you're in a big truck. He's gonna go the other way.
yeah.
But I'm in out of focus areas. I mean,
True, true.
the place he shows up.
I mean, that's like saying there's no serial killers out there because I ain't seen one.
Right.
Well, what are the odds that 2 of them would be sitting in this room right now?
Well,
I think 5%.
You know, they say
Yeah.
I heard somewhere recently that serial killers all have if you like the flavor or if you like peaches, that you have serial killer tendencies.
Just
And
fucking with
I love peach and stuff.
I don't think that's like.
I've heard that. I don't know. If
I don't think that's true.
I hope not.
I heard the eye thing's another thing.
What is it?
What is it? If you're looking at someone and they have more white showing above their eye
Really?
than like on the side or like below, that's the thing. Like if you look at Charles Manson,
Is that why you always wear sunglasses?
I don't want you guys to know.
He wouldn't be giving away secrets though.
But no, yeah, that's what it is. Like look up Charles Manson figures, you can see what I'm talking about. His whole actual eye is like lower, and it's just a shit ton of white.
Yeah, but
The
But
eyes
technic-
the giveaway, not the swastika carved into his forehead.
Technically speaking, on a technical level, he didn't really.
No, yeah, he didn't kill a
He
soul.
didn't kill
that we
anyone.
know of. He very well might have.
Well, there was one person that he did kill that I know that I've heard about, and it was when he was in like Catholic school. The kid tried to sexually assault him, and he slit his throat with a razor blade.
See, I haven't
I
heard
can't
that one.
blame him. Can't say that.
Yeah,
Fuck you. So before we end this, because you guys got to get to practice and I got to pack all this shit up, go ahead and promote once again your shows, your social medias, all that fun shit.
Before we do that, because I feel like we're obligated because our bassist isn't here today.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brock, we miss you, Brock.
We do. So I say we go around and we start with everybody's favorite bassist. Tim,
Bassist. Ooh.
Paul Gray from Slipknot.
rest in peace.
Forgive me. I can't think of his name, but dude from Mudvayne.
I can't think of his name either.
Oh,
I
fuck you.
can't for the life of me. And I love Mudvayne. I cannot think of his name.
Have you seen them live yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen them live, and I want to because they're going to be
Yes.
they're going to be at the Star Lake up in Burgettstown,
Oh, that's right.
which is local to us technically. I would love to go see them, but he's a phenomenal bass player.
I saw
I'm
them.
actually getting to go see Youngblood here in June.
Oh, really? Not bad.
I actually got to see Mudvayne. Fucking killer show.
Very cool.
But
Who's your favorite bassist?
mine's going to be underrated as fuck. And if any of you guys heard of her, I'll be impressed.
Okay.
Emma Anzai,
Who she played for?
Sick Puppies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love Sick Puppies.
She
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one of the best bass players I've ever seen.
Really?
If you get a chance, look
Well,
at
they're
those.
they're a three-piece band, so I mean,
They were.
oh,
I don't think they're around anymore.
They
I haven't
are.
seen any.
Yeah, they
I don't think the original lineup
They're
is.
not. It's a different
Yeah, like there's
same
no-
drummer.
Yeah, there's no Mark anymore, and I can't remember the lead singer's name.
That's weird because
They were
Blink
really
182 was the opposite for a while.
Yeah.
There's only Mark.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you guys ever get a chance, look up. They did Say My Name. Look up the live version. It's a Destiny's Child cover, but the live version where she goes off with the bass at the beginning is fucking amazing.
Very good.
Like she's one of the few people that do the slap pop, and well, it's flawless. Like you don't hear any extra ring, you don't hear any of the clanks. It's clean. She is a damn good bass
So
player.
my favorite bassist is another slapper since us three did slappers. Les Claypool.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm drawing.
My name is Mud.
Uh-huh.
You know who?
My name is Mud. Primus.
Oh my
No,
God.
is it Primus?
It's Primus.
Yeah.
Or let me name like his other
Those
20
guys
bands
are
that he's been in.
Great.
Yeah.
He was in Primus, Les Claypool's Flying Frog Brigade. He was in Les Claypool's Frog Brigade. He was in Les Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains. He was in Les Claypool's. He has like 20 different
Yeah,
bands.
dude. If you want to listen to some crazy bass playing, look up Les Claypool just on YouTube. Dude, he's nuts.
He does it while singing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like
Their songs are completely off the wall, but
Have you listened?
Lemmy.
Lemmy was great.
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
feel like Is that Primus or Primus?
Primus.
I think Primus is what Gigi Allen could have became.
yeah.
A premise.
Yeah.
That band, the Murder Junkies, are still around.
Are they? That's amazing.
They're in memory of Gigi. But back on the whole bass thing with Les Claypool, have you listened to the band Claypool and Lennon Delirium? It
Negative.
is John Lennon's son.
Really?
and Les Claypool started a
Wow.
band. It sounds like what would happen if John Lennon joined Primus, kind
Right,
of.
right.
Like it's very
I
psychedelic.
can't even. Yeah, I can't
I'm
even.
gonna have to check that out.
It'd be interesting.
But any other questions you have for each other?
No, do we want to talk about our show?
Like shows. Yeah.
All right.
Yep,
So
go ahead,
obviously we have the one in May 20th. It is at the Clientele Art Studio there in Wheeling.
Yeah.
It's off of 15th Street. I don't know the exact address off the top of my head.
Oh.
That one's a $5 cover charge. It's family friendly. All welcome. I mean, the lyrics, at least on our end,
There will be cussing.
there's cursing. Sunday, Saturdays, doing that show with us, we're opening for them. And it's a family friendly show. The link events on Facebook. We've shared it on our band page as well as our own personal
I'll
accounts.
share it on Pink Sock. I'll even put the link in the description below.
That'll work.
Awesome.
But like I said, it's $5 cover charge, and I don't think there's alcohol served there. I'm not 100%.
At the brewery or at
No,
the
No, this is that Clientele Art Studio.
Yeah,
It's not a bar. I know that.
Yeah, it's
So-
just an art studio or something.
So bring your own drink.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Get
don't
drunk
know.
before you come.
Exactly.
That is something people are going to have to check in, or if the guys from Someday Saturday see this and you guys know more, or anybody knows more about the place, please share.
Yeah, and come out and support local music. I mean, what else do you have to do? It's
Yeah.
High Valley, you know what I mean?
And one more time, where can we find you at? For all the people with memory
Spotify.
problems.
Oh,
Apple Music,
Facebook.
iTunes, YouTube,
Facebook.
Facebook, pretty much any social media platform.
As the only one we don't really have yet is on Instagram.
We don't have Instagram.
The TikTok.
We have TikTok.
We do have a TikTok,
We have
yeah.
TikTok.
We're not on TikTok as often as
Not
we
as
should.
much.
He is.
I am. Yeah.
Well, as a
He
band,
tries stuff that so you don't have to.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
the problem is he always tries stuff I've already tried.
So what is the weirdest thing you've tried before we end this?
I could probably answer that for you. It was probably that Pete's Pepsi.
Dude, that shit is nasty. It's just
No, you know
overly
what?
sugary.
I'm gonna
Pepsi.
say the pumpkin pie pop.
Oh, yeah.
That was something else. That was a ride. Banana pop was also kind of a weird one.
I'm really shocked you didn't say the one chip challenge.
I got
Now, see, well, he said the weirdest.
well, there is this ice cream that you can try. That is, I do believe it's mac and cheese flavored ice
Oh,
cream,
no.
and then they have pickle flavored ice cream.
Oh, no.
Same company.
Wait, don't they have
It's-
ranch dressing now as an ice cream?
Yes.
It's almost a case of like you thought about whether or not you could. You didn't think enough about if you should.
Yeah, that's the dangers of too much cannabis consumption.
Yeah.
That's like those the cosmic brownies. They're like the best thing you get from Little Debbie. And they made it into a goddamn cereal, and it is awful.
They should make it into an ice cream.
Yeah.
They
I
have,
don't-
they
I
have
think
made
they
Twinkies
do.
and ice cream before. I had it.
Well, we're talking about the cosmic
The little brownies,
Oh,
with little
other
candies on them.
I have something for you to try.
Oh,
Ever watch the movie UHF?
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it so
Twinkie wiener sandwich.
Ooh,
I'll go. I have that fucking VHS.
it's a good movie.
Yes.
It's a very good movie.
I'll rewatch it and I'll get the ingredients and I'll make it on there.
All it is a Twinkie, cut like a hot dog bun, shove a hot dog in it, put cheese whiz on top, dip it in milk, and enjoy.
That just doesn't even sound appealing.
It's his
Like,
favorite.
shit else, I don't know.
That reminds me of that dumbass freaking what the hell shows I watch? It's on YouTube, but they try all these stupid things they see from TV shows, like they remake them. It just doesn't even sound appealing.
Mythbusters?
No, it's basically like MythBusters.
Both food.
I can't remember the name of the show. I know like Binging with Babish does a couple of them,
Oh, yeah.
but there was another one that does like the even weirder ones that are just like awful.
Well, there's pop-up shops for different restaurants and shit from shows.
Yeah.
Like there was a Krusty Krab that opened up in California for a
That'd be
few.
cool.
There's one in
weeks.
Texas too.
That is amazing.
That'd be
Moby's opened up in Arizona while I was out there. I just didn't get a chance to go.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Dude, I would die to go to Krusty Krab.
All right.
Texas.
Texas
In
has one.
Texas?
There's one in Texas.
You know, my uncle's in Texas. I might just fly over and see him.
Do you know what
Krusty Krab.
Do you know what Moby's is?
No.
From Clerks.
Oh, another Clerks.
Oh, I know Clerks. Yeah.
Oh, where they worked at?
Yeah,
That fast
Moby's.
food restaurant?
Moby's.
Yeah.
Where that one guy, I can't repeat what he said, but he went on that racist rant. Oh,
Yeah.
that was
Or
Moby's.
when they talked about the One Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Moby's.
For sure.
I know you used to work with food and stuff,
Yeah.
but I cannot do that again. I worked one restaurant in my
Me
life.
too. I'll
I
never
would
do that.
never fucking do that.
I was a server and I worked at a KFC and I will never. be
Mine's
back.
not really fast food. Though. It is fast.
Well, I didn't
food.
say fast food. I said just food.
Mine's just fried shit. Like it's not really cooking.
It's just, yeah.
It's-
See, I worked at Melman's.
Oof, I've heard horror stories. Well, we're not gonna
Melman's?
slander Melman's because
No.
I do enjoy Melman's,
It's not their food that was the problem. It was the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
Like the young crowd, they were cool. I don't mind working with the people I work with. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of people I'm still friends with that I used to work with there. But it's like dealing with all the managers and stuff. They had so much drama. It's like you're worse than the teenagers.
Right.
See, I don't see with my job, like there's other things I would rather get into, but it's hard to find another job that pays decent with the amount of years that I've been in food.
Right.
It's kind of hard to start all over again. And I don't really want to get into gas and oil. I don't want to get into driving because I want a life.
Right.
Got something to say?
Yeah.
I know it sucks.
I mean, I would like to get out of debt and I'd like to pay off shit, but I also like
Driving's not the way to do it.
I know.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
It put you into debt. Spend most of your paycheck on shit.
Still paying back the loan
But
to go get your CDL.
guys, check out Wrath of the Fallen. They're incredible. They're on Spotify. They're on Facebook. They're on OnlyFans. No? Okay.
yet.
Tim's on OnlyFans.
Not
It's
yet.
under Edward
It's
Scissor
no,
Toes.
he does the feet finder.
No, he actually tries them so you don't have to.
You can find him under Grinder.
There you go.
Hey, how ironic was it that Judas Priest wrote a song back in like the 70s and 80s called Grinder? And the lyrics were Grinder looking for meat. Yeah.
And we all know.
He's way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Actually, before we come over, did you see Rob Halford's Valentine's Day fucking photo?
No.
It's a crown of dicks.
Not
It's
bad.
pink dicks.
Why am I not?
And he's wearing a pink Speedo.
But
Sounds
Banana
like something
hammock.
Sam Smith would do.
But that's got to say something. I mean, that man is a metal legend.
He's a metal god.
It's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, have a great day. And remember, as always, live long, rock hard. And that was Wrath of the Fallen. We'd
Thank
love to
you
have you
very
guys. We'd love to have you guys.
Thank
back
you
on.
guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
thanks,
sure.
Rob.
Yeah.